Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our third annual developer retreat. It's incredibly cool to see you guys here, and thank you all for coming from some extremely faraway places and joining us here. So welcome. Thanks. It's going to be a fun couple days. I want to give first off a thank you to the team that put it on, to Kat and all the people who've been working on it. We've it's a lot of work to put on an event like this, and they've gone to an extremely large amount of effort to do it. So first off, I'd like to thank them. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. There's some old faces, people we've seen, people I've met, and people who've kind of been around us and been with us for a number of years. And there's some new faces, people who are joining. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to meeting each and every single one of you over the next couple days. We have 20 pebblers, 20 or 30 pebblers from our team that are here today, and many more that will be with us over the next couple days. Please feel free to ask questions, to talk, to challenge, to post ideas on the board, to give us feedback. Had a really good question. You know, what do I and what do we look to achieve over the next couple days? I think Thomas will talk about this in a little bit more detail. But for me, one of the most exciting things is to meet people in person, that I've interacted with over the internet and tried the apps of, and I think it's pretty special that we're able to actually sit down at a table and talk. That's something that you don't really do too much these days. So I'm going to take advantage of it. I think we all will. So to kick off, I wanted to talk a little bit about the last year and what's new and what's next. So obviously, since the last Dev Retreat, one of the biggest things that we've done is grow tremendously in a couple different dimensions. One is that the Pebble series of devices is growing and expanding. I think someone posted on our internal chat a couple days ago, and they said, "Wow, we've more than doubled the number of watches that we make in the last 6 months or 8 months." It's true. It's been an incredible achievement of our hardware team, but really an expression of where we believe the market is going. As you can see, Pebble, created Pebble Time Steel, Pebble Time Round as our suite of products this year. It's exciting. It's fun. New devices, new hardware is always a lot of fun. But I think what we're seeing is that this landscape of what goes on your wrist is not a one-size-fits-all end of the line. There are many options, and there are many different sizes and colors and shapes and fashions that people will want. And what we've seen with the uptick in Pebble Time and Pebble Time Steel and Pebble Time Round is that variety is good. And it served us quite well. We've also grown in terms of the number of types of users and the number of groups of people who are using Pebble. At the beginning, when we launched on Kickstarter, the first time we launched on Kickstarter, it was a community that grew out of really hackers and developers and people who were, I guess, reading Gizmodo at the exact time that we launched. And it kind of spread from there. But over the last 2 years, over the last 3 years, we've added on hundreds of thousands, over 1 million more users, and it's exciting to see the different ways that people are using Pebble in their daily lives. There's over 10,000 watch faces and apps on the Pebble App Store today, which is an incredible testament to the creativity and to the exploration that you and many others like you have done around the world. But it's also, I think, a continuation of what we were thinking for wearables. The idea that this isn't a one-size-fits-all piece of technology that fits on your wrist, but something that people are customizing and changing digitally. We're wearing software on our bodies now that let us do different things and let us express ourselves in different ways. So that's something that I think our community and the group of people who are using Pebble has taken up with, has started to do, and the community has grown dramatically in terms of the number of users and the number of people who are experimenting with software. Thomas shared a stat with me just a couple weeks ago. 1/4 of all active users are actually browsing the App Store every single week. which is a really interesting stat that we were tracking, mainly because at some point we were thinking, you know, is Pebble the product that you buy and you browse the App Store right when you start using it and you find a watch face that you're just going to love and that stays. That's the one thing that you use. It turns out that's not exactly the case. 80% of people who use Pebble have downloaded a third-party watch face, and many change their watch face on a monthly basis, roughly. So it's cool, it's exciting, and I think that combined effect of a lot more people using Pebble as well as a lot more apps and activity on the App Store has really grown the entire community. The other dimension which we've grown is timeline. We noticed because we were the first people making a smartwatch 3 years ago, we were always kind of on the forefront of what's going to break next. And as a startup, as a company that's moving quickly and learning a lot, we've taken advantage of the fact that we're going to be the ones who see, you know, what's on the cutting edge of software, of hardware, of this technology on your wrist. And Timeline was a really good example of that. We recognized that a lot of people who were using Pebble, they weren't thinking about apps in the exact same way that they were, you know, thinking about apps on the phone. It wasn't, I'm going to spend 3 or 4 minutes browsing through an app. It's actually, I just want to see 1 or 2 things, some key bits of information at a glance. And Timeline was our effort to extract some of the key content that was happening inside an app and visualize it in kind of your day, what's coming up next during your day. In the future, we're looking at taking this even further. We're looking at how do you begin to focus apps down to the core information as well as actions that people are taking in the world. There's little bits of information that you need to know on a regular basis that you can, as a user, glance at and get the picture really quickly. And on the flip side, there's a couple core things that you do during your day that we're beginning to see are the actions that people take during the day. An example of an app that I think our internal team worked on around the transit and the Uber experience was just, you know, you open an app and you want to do one thing. You want to grab a cab or grab a lift. So I think you'll see over the next year us explore. Pebble will start exploring how apps can be able to enable these really short and sweet, quick interactions for the user. So we've got a couple more announcements. Thomas is going to come up and talk a little bit more about the next couple days and the schedule and how this is going to work. But I'm again extremely excited to see you all here and to welcome you to our Dev Retreat. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. So it's been a year, and I think the first question that many of you want to ask us is, what's up? What have we been up to? You know, I tried to go back to last year when we all left, and this is what you left us with. This is the feedback wall from last year Developer Retreat, and you guys left us with tons of post-its on the wall for feedback for different areas. And we're doing the same thing again. We're going to have the feedback wall over there. And that feedback has been a huge source of inspiration for us. A lot of the things we did was actually already being worked on during the last Developer Retreat. There's a number of things that we're not and that you guys influenced a lot. So I went back through the post-its, and I thought I would give you a little rundown of what we did since last year that was driven by some of your feedback. The first one is you said you wanted a microphone. Said, we don't need a sound output, but we want a microphone. And so we came up with Pebble Time. It has a microphone. And we were very happy to release this week the dictation API that allow you developers to grab text input directly from the user without having to convert the audio yourself into text. So that's something that we'll talk about during this Developer Retreat. We're going to have a session on the subject with Andrew, the engineer who wrote that API. And that was one of the cool ideas that I'm happy we made it. Next up is you said it would be really cool if we could use the charging point, the magnets on the charging port, as a way to attach accessories to our Pebbles. And as you know, we also came up with this little new hardware plus software protocol called Smart Straps, which lets you build accessories, extend your Pebble, talk to them. And Smart Straps is now part of all the Pebbles Pebble Time Round, Pebble Time Steel that are in the field. It's part of the standard firmware. And so if you're working on hardware accessories, that's something that you can already use. There are already 2 or 3 Kickstarter projects that are using them. Seed Studio will be here tonight at the meetup with their Smart Strap development kit. So if you're interested into that but don't want to do to touch the mechanical aspect of it, they have a great solution for that. That was another great feedback that came last year. Analytics. You said we want to understand a little bit more or a lot more how our apps do on the App Store, what users do with our apps, how well they work or crash, and that would help us improve the apps. And so we've worked on the App Store a lot. We've worked a lot on data science in general since last year. We will have a session where we explain how we do analytics of Pebble apps, how we collect information from the user, how we process that information. So if you want to go into the geeky details, it will be a perfect perfect session to go to. But most of all, we've made changes to the developer portal to give you access to this information. So already in the developer portal, you have the number of unique users using your app every day. You have the number of launches per day. You have the number of crashes for your app. And you can break that down by platform. So you can see if your users are more on Pebble, Pebble Time, now Pebble Time Round. And you can also see the breakdown through iOS and Android. So that's also a pretty important change. It's already available. And something that's coming very soon is that we're going to give you a battery grade in the App Store. And battery is very, very important, especially with Pebble Time Round. And so in the App Store, you'll see a grade that will tell you how your app is behaving in terms of battery consumption. So if you want to understand how that works, how we give you that grade, where the data comes from, the session about that is a Saturday afternoon. Something that a lot of you asked, and we had a lot of post-it for this one, is the Pebble simulator or the Pebble emulator. We had like a square meter worth of post-it asking for this feature. And this is truly something that we would probably not have done without your intense feedback. So I think we got the message loud and clear. We built the Pebble emulator. It was a major engineering effort, but we're so glad we did it right. We use QEMU, as you know. And the emulator has been completed a few weeks later by a simulator that actually simulates the JavaScript part of your app. So that's something that I'm guessing all of you are familiar with. Probably all of you have used it. It's available in the command line SDK and in Cloud Pebble. And if you have feedback or question about the emulator, this retreat is really one of the best places to get answers. So never letting you down. We actually had a post-it that said Pebble Round. I had forgotten about that one. But yes, we did launch Pebble Time Round, and Pebble Time Round is going to be one of the focus of this developer retreat. We want to show you how to design apps for Pebble Time Round. That's something that's coming up right after me. But also give you a lot of coding tips and tricks on how to make apps that will work on all platforms. So stay tuned for that. So what I really want to say is start with a big thank you to all of you that were here last year, all of you that are part of the community and that are sending bugs, sending feedbacks. In addition to the things I've mentioned, we've done a bunch of other improvement to time zone. Cloud Pebble has a lot of new features, and Cloud Pebble is now, it's of course always Catherine, but there's a bigger team now behind Catherine helping improve the product, and the team is here today. We have the 8 app limit is gone. That was also a really asked for feature from last year. We have PNG support in the firmware. That's something that we discussed extensively at last year Dev Retreat, where PNG support was just a library, and even more and more and more. So really thank you everyone for being a part of the community, contributing all your ideas. That was awesome. So now we're off to the Developer Retreat 2015. And my job here today is to give you some logistical information so you know what's coming up and are ready to make choices in the next few days. The first thing I want to tell you is this room that we're in right now, we're going to call this the main room. And it's going to be where all the presentations are happening this morning and where we're going to do the closing ceremony on Saturday evening. It's also and mostly a collaboration space. As you have probably realized by now, you have desks, you have chairs. It's made to be comfy, a good place to work. And we're encouraging you to get together, work together, not just between attendees, but also with Pebble employees. We have a lot of Pebble employees from different teams that will be here to help you. And we really want to work with you on your projects during those few days. So this space will be open all the time, and always feel free to be here and grab someone to work with. The second room is over there in that corner. It's called the boardroom. It can host 20 people seated, probably 30, 35 on chairs in the back. And this is where we're going to have all the side sessions tomorrow. So I'm going to go into the schedule. There are a lot of side sessions planned for tomorrow. We're expecting that not all of them are going to be interesting to everyone, and we're going to record all of them. We have professional recording company this year, so that they will all be made available on YouTube. So if you can't make it during the Dev Retreat, don't worry, it will be online very soon. So talking about the sessions. You have the detailed schedule. I'm not going to talk about all the sessions in detail right now. If you have any questions, you can come to me, and I can explain what's coming in each session and recommend some of them for each particular developer. But I wanted to point out some interesting things. The first one is that on Friday, so tomorrow, the room will be open all day until midnight. So a big day to do a lot of stuff in addition to a session. This afternoon, we're going to have what we call the Watch-a-thon. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. And on Saturday morning, we have Pebble Amsterdam meetup, which is meeting in the evening. They're challenging us to drink beers at 9:30 in the morning. I'm sure we can do that. So 9:30 in the morning, we will have a video call with the Pebble Amsterdam meetup and a presentation on from the Kiesel guys on a payment solution. So if you're interested in adding payment to your app, that would be a very important session to go to, and that's the Pebble Amsterdam session. We also have a number of group sessions on Saturday that I wanted to point out. That will be people getting together in a room, discussing a specific subject, because we're interested in getting your feedback on those subjects, or just listening to what you have to say, ideas, good things we did, bad things we did. So if you can spare some time to attend those sessions, that would mean a lot to us. The schedule is on the Pebble Developer Retreat page that you all have access to, and every day we'll have the schedule for the day on the TV screens. A few more things. The Watch-a-thon. We know a lot of you are already Watch Faces developer, but we also have many Watch Apps developers in the room. We thought it would be kind of fun, especially with the launch of Pebble Time Around, to challenge all of you to work on the Watch Faces today and spend some time coming up with creative ways of representing the time. What we've done differently this year compared to previous year, we've not invited just developers, but also people who have a stronger background in design. Some of you are actually professional designers. And so we want to get you together working to see how, when we sit a designer with a developer, we can build greater watch faces. And those are some examples of things that we've built in a pretty short amount of time at the office, so less than a day, with our engineering teams. And it's just fun ways to represent the time. We thought it was a really fun exercise, and we wanted to share that with you. And tonight at the meetup, we'd like to encourage you to show up with your new watch faces and share them with the meetup attendees. The Pebble meetup started a year ago. Since then, we have over 1,500 people attending our meetups around the world, 20-something meetup groups. So it's a really successful thing that we're very excited about. This is the 1-year anniversary of our Pebble meetup. We have over 100 people coming tonight, plus you all. So this should be a fun event. So come with your watch faces. We will have a closing ceremony emceed by our very own and awesome Sherry. Just like last year, she volunteered to take care of the closing ceremony and the awards, and she asked me to let you know what the categories are this year so you can work on being nominated. We will have the most beautiful design, the best technical achievement, the most creative project, most clever use of circles. For this one, you're going to have to be a little bit creative. And then 2 special awards that we've already awarded. One for Lifetime Achievement Award and another one for the best open source contribution. So that will be Saturday night. It will be a fun closing ceremony. After Saturday night, we're all going to say goodbye, or not completely. Some of you are available to stay on Sunday, and one of the feedback we got from last year is that you're all coming to San Francisco, to the Bay Area, and we locked you down in Mountain View in the Y Combinator office, which is really cool if you're a techie, but you also wanted to see some of the city. So this year, we're introducing the Sunday Fun Day. And so on Sunday, we have different activities. You're all already enrolled into one of them, 2 Segway tours and 1 trolley tour, cable car tour. Those will all start from your hotel at 9 a.m. There will be a bunch of Pebble employees with you as well. This is also our way of saying thank you and sharing the Bay Area that we, most of us, the ones that don't work in Canada, love. And even the Canadians love the Bay Area. And so, yeah, we want to share the beautiful San Francisco city, the Bay Area, and after the different activities, we'll all meet for a big goodbye picnic in Golden Gate Park. Pretty cool place. So just trying to give you a taste of San Francisco and convince you that you should really move here. A little heads up. You're going to see lots of boats on the bay, big boats, military boats. You're going to see jets flying in the sky on Sunday. This is not what life is like every week in San Francisco. It's a very special week. It's called Fleet Week. So we're celebrating the wonderful US Navy. And it's actually a really cool event with an air show, which is pretty impressive, the ability to visit boats and everything. But my real point here is that take public transportation. The waterfront on Saturday and Sunday is going to be extremely crowded and busy. And don't run away hiding if you see a jet fly over you. Some of you have asked us, how are we going to test our apps on a round display? And we thought about that long and hard. You know, we have the emulator. It's awesome. I have a round watch on my wrist. It's awesome, too. So we thought we'd share them. And so you're all going to get a Pebble Time round. The reason you don't have it yet is because we're going to make you choose which wristband you want. We have a number of Pebble Time rounds that are going to be distributed around lunchtime. And you're going to choose your band separately. And then you're going to be able to set them up and start using them this afternoon and share them with everyone at the meetup tonight. Isn't that cool? Cool. So what do you need to know to use your Pebble Time round? First of all, Pebble Time round does not completely well work with the iOS and Android apps that are available in the field today. The iOS app actually supported, but we strongly recommend that you use the next version of the iOS app, the beta version, because it has a lot of improvements, and we actually need your help to make sure there's no more bugs. So on that pbl.io/pdr15 doc, we have links to an iOS app signed with our enterprise certificate and an Android app. Please go and download them. Those are the apps that you will use with your Pebble Time round. You do not need to uninstall the app that you already have. You can just install it on top, and it will work fine. We are also going to distribute you on the same page the firmware, the 3.6 developer preview. I think we're at version 6 now, that you're going to use with those watches. So all the watches come with firmware. You'll need the PBZ from that page to install it. And if you have any question about that, we've been doing that for weeks in the office, so just ask us and we'll help you. That 3.6 developer preview SDK, which is also available on the same page and on the developer.getpebble.com website, also gives you access to some of the new things that we're going to talk about this week. And most important is probably the 8 kilobytes app message. So for all of you who've been asking for bigger app messages buffer, we've finally done it. We'll talk about it into one. Thank you. Thank you. We'll talk about it in one of the sessions this weekend, but use the 3.6 firmware if you want to start playing with that. And it also includes the dictation API. So if you want to start using voice and working with voice, you need the beta version of the apps. Finally, if you find bugs, which is not impossible, this is beta firmware, please use the contact support button in the mobile apps and send a bug report to devsupport@pebble.com. This way, we have all the logs. We know if you're on iOS, on Android. We know what you were doing, why it crashed, and that's how we can really fix bugs. Especially if your Pebble reboots, wait until it reconnects, and then use the contact support button. This is really the best way to help us iron those bugs out. So you're going to build 3.6 apps. What should you do with those 3.6 apps? That's a pretty big question. So if you're familiar with the Pebble ecosystem, you know that if you build an app with the developer firmware, the 3.6 firmware, and you push it to the Pebble App Store, your users won't be able to use it because they still have the 3.4 firmware, and so the app will not work on their watches. So if you're making apps that only work on Pebble Time Round, you can upload them to the App Store. The API set is stable. The apps that you're building today, this week at the Developer Retreat, will work with the 3.6 official firmware when it comes out. So if your app is Pebble Time Round only, please feel free to upload it to the App Store. It's the best way to share it with the other attendees from the retreat and other early users, so all the Pebble employees. And this way, when people get their hands on Pebble Time Round, they'll have apps in the store. If you have an app that you already built, and that app works on Basalt, maybe Applied, and also Pebble Time Round, which is called Chalk as a platform, you can't just upload a new binary that you build with the new SDK. So you have two solutions. One is to wait until 3.6 is officially released to upload. But the other solution, which is more fun if you want to share with other people, is to come ask one of the Pebble engineers about the Frankenstein PBW solution, and we'll explain to you how to build a PBW that has a 3.4 binary for Basalt and a 3.6 binary for Pebble Time Round, and we have scripts to make that easy for you. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that, because that's going to be pretty important. That's the end of my little introduction. As a kind of a ending message, I wanted to repeat what Eric said about the Pebble family. In a year and 2 years since the first developer retreat, actually, we've grown the number of users, the number of members, of people who use Pebble tremendously. We have a lot more people using Pebble today, and those people are much more different than they used to be. So keep that in mind when you're building apps. Make sure that your app is actually doing what your user wants. Talk to your user, talk to our design or UX team about how to make things more easy to understand, because a lot of the new users that are joining the Pebble family are not as techy or inclined to support crappy UI that our early users were. So we really want to focus on improving the experience of apps, and this is why we brought them here today. The other thing is that the family is growing in the number of screens that we support. We have Pebble, we have Pebble Time, we have Pebble Time Round, and Pebble is here to stay. We will continue to sell Pebble watches in the month to come. You can see that Brad, one of our hero firmware engineer who's been here for longer than me, 3 years, I don't know, has a Pebble original on his wrist, and he's wearing it because he's testing 3.x SDK, 3.x OS on the original Pebble. So all your apps that you're writing today, we're going to make it very easy to make them work on the original Pebble. It will be much easier than it is today to make an app that works with 2.x and 3.0. So really, when you're building your apps, keep in mind that the set of users is growing, but also the set of watches that you need to support is growing. And there are many ways to take advantage of that. And to talk more about how to design apps that work on all platforms, and then how to build apps that work on all platforms, I'd like to invite our very own head of design, Mr. Liron Demir, who's going to tell you a little bit about the Pebble visual language and how we came up with it. Thank you, everyone.